Okay, we got games need a friction. So this popped up. Thought it was interesting. So let me see.
Let's go! There's this clip from Shroud talking about extraction shooters that is like making its way around, which is like I think really important and sort of defines the issue that I have with Monster Hunter Wilds. People are like, what if the Akuma stuff is meta? And I'm like, who cares what the meta is in Monster Hunter, dude? Like the meta doesn't matter because I don't need to like optimize shit because things just die. There's no need for me to try to like really optimize my game plan because I just swing and things die. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, am I in the way? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably agree with him on the whole Akuma thing for Monster Hunter Wilds. I mean, I still like play it a little bit here and there. Um, the what if Akuma is meta? Like, who gives a shit? I mean, it's like the game. I didn't really expect this to. How did we arrive at this from like Shroud talking some shit about extraction shooters? I mean, but whatever. Um, yeah, like the meta doesn't matter for a game like Monster Hunter Wilds. Just just play it, enjoy it, and then just be done with it. If you want to keep playing, I mean, great. But if you don't want to keep playing it, well then just move on. I mean, I played the whole Akuma thing, and it's like kind of annoying with like the items, but overall it's pretty cool. I think it's a decent enough addition.
Yeah, check out this clip. This clip explains a lot. It doesn't explain everything, but
this is the epitome of what happens every single time. You come in, whether you're a AAA dev or an indie or whatever, you try to come into an extraction game and you try to make it and you try to remove the friction. There's a lot of friction in a game like Tarkov.
Oh, is it that? Like some extractions are like a very niche subgenre of FPS, dude. I don't play extraction shooters. I think they're boring. I make fun of them and call them walking simulators, especially after that video of the wiggle that killed Tarkov. You have no idea who's cheating. And especially like Tarkov, like when you say the words extraction shooter, like that whole genre is encapsulated by Tarkov first and foremost. So it's like the World of Warcraft of MMOs. But you know, Tarkov extraction shooter, whatever. When the biggest game is getting cheated on, that says something about the entire genre. Because of the massive amount of relative investment that you have to put into the game, versus like a quick little arcade thing, like some indie shooter where you just jump in, jump out, have some fun, whatever, or like the ease of a multiplayer match, like in Call of Duty or Halo or something, where it's just like jump in, jump out. Okay, extraction shooter match. What is that? That's like 30, 40 minutes on average, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, whatever. I mean, 40 minutes ain't nothing. Especially because the demographics of the people that play extraction shooters, I would bet they skew like way older. Like 30, 40, 50-year-olds. Those guys probably play extraction shooters more than like your fast-paced whatever shooters of like Call of Duty or maybe Apex. Well, not so much Apex, but like whatever. But like a faster type of shooter. So whenever like a 30, 40, 50-year-old feels that their time is being wasted by being, well, cheated on, all right, just as the example, I mean, he didn't even bring cheats into it. I'm just using it as an example. there's a big incentive to just not even interact with the game. All right. Now, what's the trend when a new game comes out? Whatever this was, this new one, extraction shooters. So, new extraction shooter comes out. What was he talking about? Marathon or something, or some other extraction shooter? If the extraction shooter comes out and it's mid, it's whatever. There'll be some cheaters, whatever. If the extraction shooter comes out and is new and it starts to pop off, starts to give Tarkov a run for its money, what are the chances that these guys have a robust enough anti-cheat system for their little game? Probably not a lot. When it's not enough for like a game developer to just come out with a really good game in terms of like FPS. It's not enough. You got to come out with like an anti-cheat system that is equally as robust and as engaging as the gameplay, the core game loop. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, your little like Call of Duty, Halo, whatever pub matches. Yeah, there's like anti-cheat. There's layers, tons of layers. But that, I mean, as cheats are have as long as anti-cheats are evolving, cheats are also evolving. But he's not even talking about that. He's talking about the friction of it. When you lessen the investment of an extraction shooter, there's not a lot of like dopamine that comes along with it. So little investment, little payoff, a lot of investment, a lot of payoff. That's kind of how it goes. It's like gambling, but with your time. And Tarkov is even kind of dabbled in. It's like there's little snippets of pay to win in Tarkov, like little things here and there. But pay to win, it's physical money. You pay to win versus what's the opposite of pay to win? Well, you invest your time and you gain a lot of skill. So that makes you good at the game. That's the opposite of pay to win. So extraction shooters, you generally trend towards the high time investment for a high payoff.
There's a lot of like complexity and things that might not want you to open up the game ever. Hundreds of bullet types.
Oh yeah, I'm never opening up Tarkov. 100%.
Thousands of individual items. Quests that don't tell you at all where to go. No map. The weapon attachment.
There's no way this is from Tarkov. What the fuck is this? What is this? I've never seen this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Weapon attachment system is like, what am I doing?
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's no way this is 19 attachments. Are you kidding me? And this is Tarkov? Bro, this is like the same vibe as when I first opened up the PoE passive skill tree, and you see that gigantic web of dots. Just you zoom out and it gets bigger and bigger. It's like, oh, that's massive. I'm not doing that. When I see a gun get broken down like this, I'm like, wow, that is impressive.
Right? So much friction. There's so much friction to play Tarkov. Most people don't even open that game.
Yeah. This is the argument of optimizing the fun out of video games, you know?
But what do we mean by like optimizing the because the game is so complicated, there's always like people have been optimizing the meta out of video games like forever though. I mean, this is happening back in the Prima strategy guide for when video games had like a little strategy guide come out with it, and like all the things are like right there in the guide. It's just not, it's not like your favorite YouTuber giving you all the meta tips and whatnot. Before it was like a book giving you all the tips. Now it's like a YouTuber giving you all the tips. This just happens, dude. People don't want to have their time wasted. That's why metas exist. Like as long as there is a video game, there will be a meta to the video game, whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
But that friction is what makes the game so popular to its core audience. So it's weird. You come in, you're a new dev or a AAA dev, whatever, and you want to remove the friction. Great. You remove the friction, the game is smooth, the game's easy to play, anyone can just click play and just be right in it, but they only play for a couple weeks or a month, and then they're like, well, there's nothing left to learn. Well, yeah, that's because you just removed all the friction.
Yeah, and that's when a game becomes solved. So, that is another reason why live service games have a very high incentive to constantly patch the game, update the game, for whatever reason, to rebalance the game. We got to pull in new statistics. This is a high usage rate of this gun, high usage rate of this ability, high usage rate of this character. Oh, well, why is that? We want to return everything to homeostasis. We want to return everything to balance. So let's readjust the characters, the guns, the abilities. Oh, this new thing, this new meta is popping up. Why is everyone using it? Oh, look at League of Legends. Oh, the new character came out. Oh, everybody knows the new character comes out. It's the most OP character. So in order for people to have like a really good impression on it, it has to be OP. Because when we nerf it later, people always remember that initial impression of, oh, the character, this was a good character. Okay? That's always been there.
All the friction's gone. All the tooltips. Like, perfect example is this, yeah? On this screen, you see every single item and its value. You don't learn the value as a player. You instantly are told what it's worth. That is a developer coming in and saying, we're going to remove the friction and remove the complications of, like...
Sometimes, like, too much quality of life can be a good thing, but like leaning into it way too much is like removing what makes the game fun. I have a couple of examples personally, that we'll talk about.
Complexity of like seeing an item and being like, what is this? We're just going to tell you what it is.
So now I understand the Monster Hunter Wilds thing. Like, Monster Hunter Wilds is the most new player-friendly version of Monster Hunter to date. Anybody that is interested, I always tell them to, like, oh, if you want to get into Monster Hunter, just play Monster Hunter Wilds. It's like the easiest one, the most new player-friendly thing that you could possibly get into. I'm not gonna go suggest like go play the older Monster Hunters. That's like too complicated. All right, if I'm trying to get someone invested into it, like, I'm gonna tell them like the easiest one. But I think conversely, like, there's something to be said for like the complexity of games that make them popular, because there's always like trying to buck the trend of quality of life, make the game easier. As time goes on, a game always just gets easier. I mean, I want to say like Path of Exile has done that, like, or at least PoE 1. In PoE 2, we're already seeing that, with a couple speed bumps getting removed from the game. What else was I gonna say? Complicated games. I think Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, did a really good job of just innovating on the entire game loop that Doom, just the core game loop. They evolved it, and it's awesome. Having access to all your weapons, all your attachments, having like fodder enemies, unique enemies, and like different levels of like, oh, this big enemy's on the screen, I gotta take him down first, and then I can work my way down the tier. I think that's like a kind of a complex way of putting it. I think I want to say Warframe does a pretty good job of it too, of like breaking everything down and keeping it reasonably complex without like introducing like a lot of quality of life. But like over the course of time, I mean, there's just more and more quality of life stuff going into Warframe. It's whatever at this point. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear.
It's worth $1,000. That's it. Great if you're playing the game for the first time. Bad if you're playing the game for the 1000th time. Because what makes extraction shooters good and interesting is giving that player the knowledge, the tools to like learn the game themselves, figure out what a pack of cigarettes is for. And nobody thinks like that. Most people are like, just tell me what the pack of cigarettes are for, man.
Yeah.
But what's fun about extraction shooters is when they don't tell you. So I don't know.
That is from the perspective of Shroud. Shroud is like super young still. He's got all the time in the world. He's just chilling. He's telling you what it is from his perspective. Shroud don't got a 9 to 5. Yeah, he's got like bills or whatever. He pays taxes and whatever. Like, what type of game are you trying to make? What kind of quality of life are you trying to introduce into that type of game? What kind of like person, like slash demographics, audience are you trying to target? All right. Chances are, if you're like in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you probably got a job still. Maybe you got a wife, maybe you got kids. You only got time to get all invested in the immersion of the game. All right. I can't tell you how many times I have some of my friends, they're, like I try to get them in Discord, and then like in the background, I gotta hear like their kid or whatever. I'm just like, oh, Jesus. And then it's just like a constant reminder of like, oh, reality. Can't get immersed anymore. I gotta have the little snippets of gameplay and whatnot. Okay? Shroud's telling you his stuff from his opinion. Or from his perspective in life. His position in life. Probably Marathon is great and is the most casual friendly version of an extraction shooter. If you are kind of interested in playing extraction shooters, but you don't want to invest a lot, much the same way I would suggest someone to get into Monster Hunter Wilds, get into it because it's easy. It's it's relatively, it's like the easiest version of Monster Hunter. Get into Marathon. It's the easiest version of an extraction shooter. Hell, get into Diablo 4 if you like ARPGs, because it's the easiest version of an ARPG. All right. If you're into fighting games, it's great, because a lot of fighting games nowadays have modern controls, like kind of simplified controls, so you can mess around with a little bit, try to get a feel about it if you haven't played a fighting game before. And then once you get your sea legs, so to say, then you can like unlock the beast that is like classic controls or whatever normal controls of like whatever fighting game. Like a Tekken is like left punch, left kick, right kick. Street Fighter is like light, medium, heavy punch, light, medium, heavy kick.
This we just keep seeing this over and over and over again.
Yes.
The gameplay has to be really, 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 really good, because
What do you mean really, 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 really good? Like how?
it's removing all of that friction and making the game super accessible.
And my personal example of this has directly happened to me with a shooting game. I loved Call.
Also, take into account, I would say this. Live service games are for hardcore people. Single player games are for casual people. You asked me that like 10, 15 years ago, I would have said the opposite. I would have said live services for casual, single player is for hardcore people. It's my opinion now is it's the opposite. If you want to get into a game and not have that fear of missing out feeling of not having to log in to do your dailies, your weeklies, your monthlies, whatever, get into a single player game, because single player games don't have that. You get off, you get on, you play for an hour or two, you get off, you go to work, you do your family shit, whatever, you come back on for another hour or two, You left off exactly where you left. You go back on exactly where you left off. All right? It's easy. Live service. Oh, I gotta get on. I gotta go to work. I gotta deal with the wife. Oh, this accident happened. The traffic, the logistics of getting to work and back and forth again. Oh my god. Oh man, I'm so tired. I don't feel like it, but the dailies are still there. I gotta do my dailies. I gotta do my weeklies, my monthlies. And now I could go do this other bullshit in the damn game. This new thing came out. They came out with a patch. I gotta wait for it to download. I gotta wait for it to come out. And it's like it's a never ending.
Call of Duty Blackout. It was my first jump into BRs in general. I hadn't really played PUBG or games like that before. But Blackout was this nice little like game that allowed you with a big expansive map and gear and lootables and ways to counter that stuff and all of this shit. It was very cool. And then the next game comes out and it's called Warzone. This little Warzone game. And there's a big change to Warzone over Blackout. And this is what does it for me. Warzone just gives you a loadout relatively easy. You just get access to your best gear. And now the game at that point just turns into a kill fest. Just kill as many people as possible. You have your best gear. Warzone removed the most fun part of Blackout, which was that in Blackout, I don't know how this game is going to go. Dude, in Warzone, you do. You're getting your loadout and then you're just killing people. But the most fun I had in Blackout was taking a shit situation with shit gear and suddenly turning that around and finding victory somehow of some weird gun that I never used. And suddenly, yeah, there's no script in Blackout. That to me is like the perfect example of removing the friction. We're gonna
Well, as I said, that's a hardcore experience you're describing. Granted, probably some casual people could jump into Blackout and make something out of nothing, but what are the chances that the hardcore person comes in, knows the meta of the game, tries to do that in Blackout versus you have all that randomness that happened in Blackout, which, you know, kind of caters to the more hardcore person, kind of more invested into the game. They know what's good, they know what's bad. Versus Warzone, where they give you the loadout. It's quicker, it's more casual friendly, it's quality of life. All right. It's the same thing.
optimize the fun out of this fucking game. And I liked Warzone, but it just never grabbed me. It never like grabbed me like an addiction. Every single time I drop into Blackout, dude, I don't know what's going to happen. I try to go to this spot, but my plan is always deviated in some way that leads me from one spot to the next. Like the friction was removed from the game that I really like. A perfect example of that. I think the same thing also.
Which kind of leads me to think, like, with all of this quality of life stuff happening in a lot of games, what does that mean is happening for, like, the rest of the people? Like, the people. Do they just have less time to play games, to less time to enjoy themselves, and, you know, less time to, like, just hang out, relax, just play games or whatever? Is that what's happening? I know this might be off topic, but I mean, whatever.
Happened to Monster Hunter Wilds, where in Monster Hunter it's great, the combat's amazing, we all know that the game is super fun and the game is combat amazing, but why do I need to deeply go grind gear? Why do I even need to spend time really mashing out this one monster to get this piece of gear that allows this thing to unlock so that I can take a 5-minute fight and turn it into a 3-minute fight? I just don't know if this game really is trying to like hit me in the ways that the previous games do, where I have to like overcome these odds and situation.
Well, there's also the incentive that the devs have on the game of, if we make the game easier, we can appeal to more people and sell more copies. That's also a thing.
so much to the point that there's been some newer fights that come out and I'm like, yeah, what does the fight last, like 8 minutes now? And it's like, well, we'll see. Like, to me, Monster Hunter Wilds is the perfect example of like, it's still a lot of fun, but I feel like they may have reduced the friction in that game a little bit too much, and it already was severely reduced in World and severely reduced in Rise to a certain point. Now it's just hunting for drip. I don't even need to really know how to play the game. We just go in and whoop the fuck out of monsters, dude. They fucking get roasted, man. I don't know. It's
Bro, and what you got to do is not just hunt for drip, you hunt for titles.
like, to me, like the whole, there needs to be a reason for me to play, and just hunting for drip isn't like a great reason, you know? It's not just the thing that keeps me going. Like, I want to overcome, I want things to be beaten. I want to have reasons to grow and get better, to help my friends, to do this kind of stuff, to be more reliable. Like, I don't think games should just be necessarily 150% hard. We don't need things to be that, you know? It does not need to be as difficult as even Generations Ultimate, but friction is what makes games fun. Even to the point where I think fighting games have sort of gotten into a point where we're trying to remove the friction so much that we're just going to change the way the games sort of play. Like Tekken ran into this. We're going to change the way the whole game plays to remove the friction of learning characters and shit. Like learning.
Oh, what does he talk about? So, I mean, I'd probably defer to him on like anything fighting game, but like, what did the overall thing that they changed from Tekken? But having like modern controls, like having like some sort of comeback mechanic.
Matchups, and it's like, whoa, no, this does not fucking work. I think modern controls are a way of removing friction, but at the same point, that also can be fine. I don't think.
What? Modern? I make this comparison all the time. Modern controls in fighting games is the same thing as like aim assist in crossplay shooters. It is what it is. It makes the game a little bit easier, but then again, has there in any of these games that implemented modern controls, has there been any people that have like hit like a high position in like a tournament or anything? Is that even possible? Because to my knowledge, or I haven't really been paying attention to any fighting game tournament, like shouldn't like a classic controller or classic controls player almost always beat like a someone that's using modern controls? Or am I just wrong?
I think specifically in fighting games, like motion inputs are a huge thing of friction that pretty much prevent people from having fun or add more satisfaction to a game. No, you can have simple fucking motions and shit, and the game can still be hard as fuck.
Oh yeah, okay, so that's a good point with the half, or not half circle. Well, yes, half circle. Quarter circle, the fireball motion from Street Fighter, the Shoryuken motion where it's like forward, down diagonal to do a Shoryuken. Like there's other characters that have like towards your opponent motions of like quarter circle or uppercut, away from your opponent, quarter circle, uppercut, or some of the other silly ones like what was it, in Dead or Alive, you have like these like X patterns of or you have like the Azuna drop from was it DOA? Yeah, Dead or Alive with Ryo Hayabusa, where you have to do like multiple 360s, or like that's like the grab for some of these characters, and it's yeah, that's like a niche of people that like actually enjoy doing that. And it is a big speed bump, to be honest, but the whole motion inputs thing in fighting games, that is a good conversation to have.
KI does that shit, man. The challenge is still there, even though the inputs are not necessarily the challenge. They removed friction from Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but they also expanded your brain in terms of how you play the game. And yeah, games like Elden Ring exist. Friction is what makes sparks fly. Finding some crazy challenge and then, you know, emerging from that challenge is like, I figured this out, bro. I feel good. It's something also in FF7 Rebirth that sucks. There's not a lot of friction around the game's explorative of elements at all. So you just know where everything is. You just go get it. And the challenge is like therein once you're there, but it's not really much, so that the exploration sort of like is removed from it, which is why exploration in a game like Expedition 33 feels a lot better. There's a lot of friction in that game, dude. They don't give you any fucking maps. And that was smart, because now I was looking all over the place for shit in that game, dude. Loot felt valuable to me because I didn't see the extremely linear corridors that the game has with 1 or 2 branching paths. I couldn't see that at all times, so it forced me to have to look for it again. Like, this friction thing is very true. When games try to remove too much friction, I'm down for controls getting easier and shit. I think that's fine, man. But when all of the game becomes quality of life, then what life is there to have? You are not logging back into that game after a week, bro. Like, you're just...
I mean, what's that one video game where it's just like hit the button, one button cookie eater or something, where you just click the button and that's like the ultimate video game of like, you just sit there and like click the button. That's like the ultimate quality of life video game, but arguably nobody really wants to play that. So you have like some polar opposites of video games. Like, what's like some of the most complicated fighters you can think of? What's the most complicated ARPG you can think of? And then you have like one button cookie eater where you just put, or banana, for fuck's sakes, for fucking banana. How many times can you click on the banana? You have like the ultimate, what do you call it? Like polar opposites of like video games, and then hopefully a good game is somewhere like in the middle between banana and like, I don't know, like trying to figure out like what's the most best way to make a build in PoE, or the most long infinite combo in like some fighting game or whatever. I mean, there's gonna be like, there has to be some like gray area in there, and I think that's where the fun is had. But what the trend is seemingly happening sometimes is that we're skewing towards banana, and not so much more complex.
Just not. There's no game there for you to have fun with. There's other games that will engage you more. You know what I mean? This clip definitely resonated with me a lot. Made sense of why I enjoy the games that I do, and which games really like hit for me. Which ones really like do it for me. And he's using extraction shooters as the source of conversation, but I think there's a lot of things that explain why I like the games I do, and why a lot of people like the games they do, that don't just play themselves for you, dude. I don't want a game to play itself for me. I want to come across those solutions and find those solutions myself. That's what video games are about, man. That's why that shit is fun.
Good conversational piece. Good stuff. It's just, I don't know. Like, I think you can have like a more nuanced conversation, but I think the more nuanced conversation is like kind of doom and gloom, to be honest. With more games becoming quality of life, or just any video game becoming more easy, and this happens with like all live service games at least. They just become easier over the course of time. I mean, it happens. You can look at the past, like almost every live service game, it just gets easier. Say Fortnite. All right, Fortnite, you got the build tournaments. It's like, that's just tough, dude. Come on. I do have to wonder, when games get easier, how much of it is because the devs are targeting like a certain audience, and because they're targeting a certain audience, they're expecting like a certain payback, or like player numbers or something. I mean, I don't know. Good video though. I thought it was interesting. I like these little conversation pieces, but yeah, good stuff, man. I mean, I've been fucking subscribed to Max for like years. Yeah, good stuff. Keep it up, dude. But that's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.